Hello and welcome to this episode of Demystified as we explore home cooking in a modern world. Hello, I'm Linda and I'm here with my friend Paul. Hey Paul.
We need a new intro.
I do, well, maybe in 2022 we can...
Maybe older the intro.
Oh, hello. And you can control the laptop?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, this one's the one we've got until the end of the year. Let's stick with this one.
Yeah.
How's that? How are you?
Good. Busy, but good.
You have had a mammoth, again, another
Big
huge week.
Yeah, big week. Very busy, but it's all been very interesting. It's good to get outside.
And see people.
Yes, people. Who
Yes.
knew?
Who would have known that you like people so much?
That's still up for debate.
Now, one of the things that I did, and I know we have talked about this before, but I'm always
no.
interested with your...
Don't rehash old stuff. People are going to stop listening.
Kohlrabi.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it wasn't, you were doing a whole lot of, like there were 8 or something that you were doing in the tray.
Yeah.
And I know what you were preparing for, but I thought, gee, I don't even know, like I think we talked about it just briefly, but you were trying to explain at the time about trying different, types of vegetables or in different ways. But I thought, this is, it looked fantastic, and I watched you peeling it, and I stood there trying to figure out, was it potato-y, was it apple-y, was it, and you said kohlrabi. But I thought that was a big thing, and you had a tray of them, and you must have been doing it for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So given that we're coming up to this kind of season of festivities,
Yes.
but I'd like you to just tell me, why would you choose kohlrabi? Why, now that we know how you bake it, how did you serve it? What did you do with it in that example? And you were cooking for about 25?
Yeah, maybe a fraction less, but
okay,
yeah.
but roughly, yeah.
Wasn't that many.
Okay.
Let's say 15-ish.
Oh, okay. 15.
I had a bit left over.
Okay.
But I always overcater.
You do,
yeah.
And I do like that because sometimes we get leftovers. And thank you for the, by the way, the brownies and the Anzacs were very excitedly eaten over the weekend.
Yeah, but I sent the Anzacs as a bit of a joke because I know Doug doesn't like them.
Yes, but I
anyway,
like to eat all those. But the kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi. So what I did was essentially salt baked it. So I just take the whole kohlrabi, don't do anything with it other than chop the outer leaves off. Now, to be honest with you, what I should do is cover the entire thing in salt. But because I was doing such a big volume...
that would be a crack a load of salt.
Yeah, so you make a salt crust, right? So almost like a dough.
Oh,
and you encapsulate each one in dough. But sometimes with catering, if you want to call it that, it's not necessarily a shortcut, but I just didn't have time. So anyway, I laid them all on a large tray, as you saw, on a big bed of rock salt, and I baked them for about 2.5 hours maybe, at about 140 degrees until they were like soft.
And what was the steam content in that?
I wasn't really relying on steam for that, so I actually covered the tray with foil.
Okay.
So what I'm actually trying to do is cook some of the moisture out of the kohlrabi to a degree, not all of it, but I don't want it to stew. I want it to like a slow bake. So what the rock salt does is any moisture that does come out gets captured in the rock salt, and it means that they kind of continue baking. So they're sort of steaming. They're steaming in their own skin.
Okay.
Yeah. So once they come out, then you saw me peel them. Mm-hmm. So I just peel them with a knife. Now you can peel them beforehand. I like the idea of leaving them in their skin. And this is appropriate. So we recently did a recipe for a sweet potato.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar preparation, except that was peeled and done in foil. But you can sort of see where I'm going with that. Then I peeled them. I portioned them into just like little sort of wedges, I suppose you'd call, and to serve them. So that was the entree for the dinner. Now, why did I choose kohlrabi? Because I had a vast amount of different dietary requirements at this dinner. So I had a couple of vegetarians, a vegan, a pescatarian, a no red meat, and a no pork. So I needed to find something that, when you're cooking by yourself and you're doing multiple courses, I have to take into consideration how much time I've got. And especially because I'm cooking live in front of people, I can't be having them sit there and wait for a long period of time. So I needed to find something to at least cater for all of those dietary requirements that was also interesting, that people don't often eat, which I always think makes the dining experience maybe a little bit more engaging, because you can talk about it. Because part of my job is, when I'm demonstrating, is to talk to people about these sorts of things. And I like the dish in of itself because it's kind of interesting. So I take my little wedges of kohlrabi and then I set up my teppanyaki plate on an induction cooktop, and I grill them until they go super golden brown, like bordering on the edge of getting too golden brown. And what that does is that then gives me the colour that I need, which brings out the flavour.
If you don't have a teppanyaki plate...
You do it in fry pan.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you just pan fry the cut sides. So just the cut sides of the kohlrabi. And I always look for something... So that's for an entree, not for... Okay, so in America they call them appetizers. Over here we call them entrees. So the first course... Okay, for getting bread and canapes and stuff. The first course, so it doesn't need to be a lot, but if you are doing small portions, I like them to pack a bit of a punch. So the dish itself is salt baked and grilled kohlrabi. I make using a sort of a medium heat. I make my own curry powder. So a curry powder mayonnaise sits underneath. Warm kohlrabi on top, and then I put on top of that for texture, because the kohlrabi is kind of like almost gets that chewy caramelized sort of when you overcook a parsnip type situation. Not the core of the parsnip, the other nice part. So it's kind of got that texture, so it's not crispy.
No.
So I need to add some crisp to that. So I add fried curry leaves, toasted cashews, toasted pepitas, and a little bit of salt and olive oil, and that's it. Oh, and a few fresh sprigs of coriander, if I've got it.
Okay, so let's go back to, you're talking to me.
Yes.
So I've got my kohlrabi, which is the size of a grapefruit, bigger grapefruit size.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
How many exactly wedges do you cut? Like, do you cut it into 4?
Well,
6s?
they're not all the same size. The kohlrabi.
No, but
Yeah.
roughly. Like,
so out of a single kohlrabi, you should get... Sorry, I'm just doing it in my head. 6 or 8.
Okay, so that's the size. Picture a grapefruit.
Yeah.
Roughly 6 or 8 cuts, and you've got your a nice sized wedge that is big enough to put into a fry pan or on a teppanyaki.
Yeah,
plate.
so the wedges aren't huge.
No.
So they're...
Like a slice of an apple, like a big slice of an apple, really, when I tried one.
Yeah, so it's... per portion, I always account for 3 wedges as a little starter.
And then you fried it off just in a bit of olive oil, or just...
No, we don't fry in olive oil.
No, we don't fry in olive oil, please. Oh, no, I should know that. Oops. No.
Vegetable oil.
Vegetable oil.
Yeah, vegetable oil.
Vegetable
oil. A little bit of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just let them sit there.
Get some deep colour.
Yeah, and then turn over.
So I didn't... If I didn't have a vegan there, I probably would have added some butter just for extra flavour. Yeah, but because I had a vegan there, I steered away from that. And the vegan didn't get mayonnaise, obviously. I did a different dressing for the vegan. But, yeah.
Okay. And then now, assuming that we're not all able to make our own curry powder, buy curry powder.
Buy curry powder, mayonnaise, mix it together. Kewpie mayonnaise is good. Yep. Yeah. I love that stuff. So
And so on the bottom, 3 pieces of kohlrabi.
Yeah, so for the festive season, if you're planning on doing something like this, prepare the kohlrabi as sort of I've laid out there. But what you could then do is just toss it through some, like it'd go through like a herb salad really well. So you got this kind of warm salad. So some really finely sliced red onion, some basil leaves, some coriander leaves, spring onions, nice fresh. So you get, and what happens is when you add a warm ingredient to those sorts of herbs, they'll start to open up a little bit, and you'll get a little bit more flavour from them, and you don't necessarily need an individually plated sort of entree. So for Christmas, we talked about this last time, more shared sort of scenario, but you could certainly do that, and you make like a little warm salad out of it. A really good dressing would be like a maple syrup, tamarind, olive oil scenario. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tartness, that would work quite well. But just make sure the thing with something like kohlrabi is make sure you season it up. So you've got to taste it.
Okay. And is it something that you could do beforehand?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you could cook them,
have the wedges done day before at least, even 2 days.
Okay.
And on Christmas Day, all you're doing is you're just grilling them up and finishing them off.
Okay.
But every other component, and also in your salad, like some toasted nuts would be good too.
Yeah.
Like a bit of crunch.
And that's why you added the nuts on yours with the appetizers.
Yeah. And all I was trying to do with the curry leaves and curry mayonnaise was ramp up the flavour.
Yeah.
So I wanted a big, bold flavour. Small dish to start with, I want something pretty big and bold.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, that was that.
I saw you peeling them.
Yeah.
And then I didn't see
You're
them again.
such a sticky bake, seriously. Don't you have your own job?
Do you know how hard it is? Now that we're closer physically in this office, and the smells, and everyone, you can see everyone sort of looking around when you're sort of getting things ready. It's like, oh, lucky we worked in the market, but there are times when it's like, I have to come in. Okay, what are you doing? Because it smells amazing. And you're like, oh, stop. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, thank you. Now I know about kohlrabi, but...
Popular in Russia, I believe.
Oh, are they seasonal? Or are they just...
No, I'm pretty sure they are. Yeah.
Okay, so...
It's just not particularly easy to find. So there's only one supplier at the market that has them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they expensive?
They range between $3 and $5 each. It's not inexpensive.
That's not inexpensive, but if you can get...
Yeah, but if you're doing a big salad, get 3 or 4 of them. That's not ridiculous.
If you're cooking for people.
Yeah.
And
it's something different.
It certainly is, and it looked amazing. And I know that one time you gave it to me to try and said, "What is this?" And I had absolutely no idea.
But that's half the thing. Everyone I was dining for was guessing. They didn't know.
Did anyone get it?
No.
Haha, I don't feel so bad then.
No, but it's not. I mean, it's not a competition.
No,
it's just
I really didn't know what it was. I had no idea. I've never seen you cook with it before.
I'm sure there's a million other things you could do with it, but when I'm doing my planning, and we talked about planning recently, my planning for my day job has got an extra layer of complication, you can say, because I have to travel with the food. So where I prep here in our office, that's fine. It's all well and good, but we don't have people here. So when I host my events or functions or whatever it is, I have to take into consideration how much I can travel with. Because if the dish has got too many components, it's too many things to travel with. And when you're doing 3 courses for 15 people, that's 45 plates of food, plus canapes, plus sides, plus bread, plus all the other bits and pieces that go along with it. So all of those things come into consideration. Comes back to the planning thing we talked about when I'm planning for my events.
Yeah. For
my day job events. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, thanks.
Exciting times.
So it's
Don't forget our. I think we're going in a minute, but don't forget our COVID-19 19.19% off RRP of the book.
That's right. Another
a
goes
promo.
Until the 15th.
A promo is still going.
Goes until midnight, December 15th.
And if you're looking for the QR code, I've posted it again on Instagram. There's a couple on Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. It's also in our newsletter. And
I think we need to be quick about this because we're actually getting very low on stock of
Demystified.
Demystified. We actually might run out.
I never thought we'd see the day, actually.
And who would have thought it was so hard to get things reprinted? I know.
Yes.
Anywho, another story. Well, thank you for that.
No worries.
Wrap up from the kitchen and plans for the weekend. Anything exciting? more cookbook?
No, I'm actually I'm gonna go. Because I've had lots of stuff on. I'm actually going to go to the market very early tomorrow morning. I know we're just across the road, but I don't feel like shopping today. It's another good thing for people. If you don't feel like shopping, sometimes the best thing to do is not.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go tomorrow morning with a fresh set of eyes, figure out what I want. I've got my eye on some octopus, fire up the charcoal, it's sunny outside.
Great weather.
Where I'm sort of sit out on the deck, have a few frosties, charcoal and some octopus. Yeah, absolutely.
Unheard of. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Anyway.
Lovely. Well, thank you for that, and have a good weekend. And to everyone who's listening, happy cooking.
Happy
cooking. Try Kohlrabi.
Kohlrabi. Get on it.
See you later. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Thanks for listening to this podcast as we explore home cooking in a modern world. We'd love you to subscribe, and for more information, please go to our website, cookingwithsteam.com.